I remember when my family doctor walked into the room, I could not stop staring at her. No joke, from the lab coat to her cherries to her amazing peach, I could not stop staring. And that's when I realized I had a crush on my family doctor. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to a super embarrassing story that I did not want to tell because, well, to be honest, this was one I was planning to keep personal and quiet about. But let's be real here, I've told a lot of embarrassing stories on this channel to the point where I don't even care anymore. But this story all takes place back when I was in grade 9, and basically back when I was in grade 9, I was a pretty dumb kid. Not gonna lie, since I was hitting puberty and, well, I guess, you know, becoming a man, my mind was not in the most best of places. And I remember one time when I was back in high school, I was walking home from school, and as I was walking home, I ended up going to my driveway and I saw my parents getting ready to leave. And before anyone says anything, no, they weren't going on a family trip, because I remember my mom walks up to me and says, "Bubba, drop your backpack at home. We're going out." What? Why? Where are we going? "Oh, Bubba, it's your checkup." Wait, what? "Yeah, you're gonna go see the family doctor." I'm not feeling sick, so I don't really need to go." "No, but Bubba, you have to go. It's your checkup." "Mom, I got a lot of schoolwork, and honestly, I don't want to go." "Are you sure, Bubba?" "Yeah, it's not really my thing. I don't want to go." I remember when I think back on it, saying that going to a doctor wasn't my thing sounded really dumb. But I'm gonna be honest here, I just didn't want to go to my family doctor at the time. Because back then, my family doctor was the most annoying person on the planet. No joke, he would always make fun of me, and he would always laugh at me every time he would do a checkup on me. If anything, he was more of a major bully. But I remember as my family went to the doctor, I ended up staying home playing Call of Duty. And then that's when I ended up getting a text message on my phone. It was my mom sending me an image, and I was so confused on why she sent me a photo. But when I opened it, I realized she sent me a photo of a really attractive woman in a lab coat. When I saw this, I was super confused, and I asked, "Mom, who is that?" "Bubba, you should have been here. We have a new family doctor, and you have to meet her." "I have to?" "Yes, Bubba, you have to meet her. So you're going to do your checkup tomorrow, okay?" Okay, sure." Now, this photo that my mom sent me wasn't that good of a photo, if I'm being honest with you. The photo was literally of her standing with her back facing my mom's camera. So I didn't actually get a good look at what she looked like. But from what I saw, she was a blonde-haired woman, and she had a nice physique, even with the lab coat on, which is really weird and rare. But going on, I remember the next day, I could not stop thinking about going to the doctor. And since it was a Saturday, honestly, since I didn't have school, it was all I could really think about, without any distractions coming my way. And as the day continued on, I remember my mom ended up coming into my room finally and saying, "Bubba, clean up your room. We have to go soon to the doctor." "Okay, Mom. Yep, just cleaning up right now." I remember I ended up cleaning up all my things, and finally when I finished cleaning, I ended up basically getting my Nintendo DS and bringing it to the car. And as we were on the way there, I remember asking my parents, "Mom, Dad, what did the family doctor look like?" "Oh, Bubba, she's a very nice lady. You'll like her a lot, I'm telling you." Okay. I mean, I hope so," is what I said. And I remember when we finally got there after 30 minutes of driving to my family doctor, which I know is crazy, but at the same time, this was only the family doctor that we would see like maybe once a month, if anything. But as I walked into the doctor's office, I remember I sat down and I started to get nervous. I don't know what it is about me, but I naturally hate going to the doctors. Like, no joke, still to this day, I refuse to go to the doctor unless I am actually dying. But I remember as I'm sitting there waiting, my mom looks at me and says, "Bubba, don't worry. She's a very nice lady. You'll like her a lot." And that's when my doctor walked in. My family doctor ends up walking in, and that's when she said, "Hi, nice to meet you. You must be Bubba." And no joke, as her lips were moving, I just could not stop staring at her amazing blue eyes. Oh my God. Her cherries to her physique to literally everything about her was just too perfect to think that this girl was my doctor. I remember I looked at her up and down, checking her out, and she definitely noticed to the point where she said, "Oh, have you ever looked at my father like that?" "Wait, what?" is what I said. And I remember my mom looks at me and she's like, "What did he do? Is there something wrong with his eyes?" "Oh, no, he's all right. Don't worry, ma'am. Can both of you parents leave the room? I need to talk to your son real quick." "Oh, okay. Yeah. As my mom stands up, totally confused on why she was leaving the room. And I remember when my parents left the room, I could not stop staring at this doctor. Like, to be honest, I even forgot they left the room. And that's when my doctor says to me, "Okay, Bubba, it's been a while since you've had a checkup, right?" Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty healthy guy, to be honest with you," is what I said to her, trying to play it as cool as possible. But I remember my doctor just ends up giggling, and she says, "Okay, I'm gonna check your heart." She ends up putting that like really cold like heart detector pumper thermostat thingy on my chest. I don't really know what it's called, a stethoscope. I can't say words like that, but you guys know what I mean. And she basically hears my heartbeat. And when her hand was basically close to my chest, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting excited. No, not that kind of excited yet, because I remember my doctor ended up doing something really weird where she ended up pulling out a popsicle stick, and she wanted me to basically stick my tongue out and go so she could check my throat. But me, I hated doing this ever since I was young, and still to this day I hate doing it, because I'm gonna be honest here, the only thing I like going down my throat is food, okay? not anything else. So I remember I ended up telling her, oh, like, my throat's fine. Like, can we not do this one? Oh, Bubba, it's easy. Here, look, I'll show you. And she ends up opening her mouth, sticking her tongue out and going, eh. And no joke, I could not stop staring at her doing it. If anything, it got me kind of excited. So excited to the point where I knew I definitely had a crush on my family doctor. Because the last part of the checkup was the final part. And I'm gonna be honest, this was probably the most embarrassing thing, where I remember my doctor ends up telling me to lay down on the table. And that's what I did. I laid down and my doctor tells me, okay, Bubba, can you take off your pants for me real quick? I need to check down there. Wait, what? You do? Yeah. Has my dad not done this before? I kept getting confused on why she kept saying her dad. But then I remember I ended up taking off my pants and my eggplant was hanging out. And my doctor just looks at it and ends up touching it once just to lift it. And that's when it happened. I got bricked right in front of my family doctor. That was super hot, attractive female. Like, honestly, I'm gonna say this right now. No one can blame me for this, okay? Like, no joke, okay? I was in grade 9. She was hot. And, like, no one can find me weird for saying this as well, okay? I think we've all almost been through this. Unless you have an ugly family doctor, then lucky you. But I remember it was so awkward because I remember as I got bricked, my doctor looks at me and says, Bubba, are you all right? And that's when I stood up. I pulled up my pants and no joke, the only thing I did was ran out of there. I ran out of there so fast to the point where I actually ended up running out of the doctor's office and out of the whole building and going straight to my parents' vehicle. I remember my mom goes back into the doctor's office saying, what happened? What did you do? And my doctor was just confused going, I don't really know. Trying to make sense of everything that just happened. But I remember my parents ended up coming back to the vehicle. And as I was sitting in there totally embarrassed, I just ended up looking at my DS and just playing my game, trying to pretend nothing happened. My parents kept asking me what happened in there, but I didn't say a word until I remember the next day ended up finally coming and it was a Sunday. And my parents wanted me to go to church with them, but to be honest, after the sins I caused, no thank you. And I remember as I'm sitting in my room, just totally confused, I ended up hearing the door open. Now I thought it was my parents coming home from church after like 2 hours of being gone. But then I realized that it was my parents, but also another person. And the voice I heard was one I recognized right away because it was my family doctor. Since when was she doing in-house visits? I have no idea. But I remember my family doctor ended up asking, oh, so I was wondering, where's Bubba? Because I just want to finish the checkup with him. Oh, yeah, no, he's upstairs. Just, make him relax. Maybe he's just too scared. I remember my doctor ends up coming up the stairs and I start panicking. But I ended up clearing my action figures away from my shelf and I ended up putting it under my bed and sitting on my bed as if I was cool. And as I was sitting on my bed, my doctor comes in saying, hey, Bubba, can I come in? Yeah, you can. What's up? Hey, so I was just wondering, can we finish our final checkup real quick? Yeah, sure. Do you want me to lay down and take off my pants? Oh, no, you don't have to do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, if I don't have to, it's cool, is what I told her. And then that's when my doctor said the weirdest thing afterwards, where she said, I mean, if you want to, if I want to, is what I asked her. And well, one thing led to another. I remember me and her got really close on my bed and we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. And then afterwards, I remember after we finished doing the Devil's Tango, she turns over to me and says, oh, I bet my dad never gave you this kind of treatment. And that's when I looked at her and said, why do you keep talking about your dad? Oh, because he was your original family doctor. Wait, what? And that's when I put 2 and 2 together, that I had a crush on my family doctor that was my old family doctor's daughter, which made this whole story super more confusing. I'm not gonna lie to you. But honestly, if you guys watch till the end and follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one, peace out, guys.